Welcome to the channel. Here, we provide clear, actionable insights into the complex world of tax and accounting to help your business thrive.
You know, that house you're in right now? It's probably the single biggest asset you'll ever own. But what you might not realize is that just a few words on a piece of paper you signed years ago could be the difference between total financial security and a massive family feud. So let's look at two really common situations that can go sideways fast if you don't know the rules.
All right, let's kick things off with a dream scenario. Your in-laws are amazing and gift your spouse $1 million to buy a house. Fantastic! You're married, you buy the house together, so it's automatically 50-50 shared property, right? Well, maybe not.
Or how about this one? This happens all the time. You buy a house with your mom to help her out. You've got a brother or sister, but hey, your name is on the title, so you figure when your mom passes, the house is just all yours. Is that a safe bet?
You know, the answers to both of these questions are probably not what you think, and getting them wrong can lead to some absolutely huge financial headaches down the road. So let's dive in and break down what the law actually says. So, to figure out that $1 million question, we have to start with a really fundamental idea in property law. It's all about where the money came from. This brings us to the concept of community versus separate property. And right off the bat, here's a huge deal. Where you live is critical. Only 9 states in the entire U.S. are community property states. The other 41 play by a different set of rules. So for our example, let's just pretend we're in a community property state like California.
In these 9 states, the default setting is actually pretty simple. Think of your marriage like a business partnership. Any asset, any money, anything you acquire while you're married is generally considered a partnership asset. It's owned equally, 50-50 by both of you.
But, and you knew there was a but coming, right? This is a big one. There's a major exception to that rule. Anything you owned before you got married is yours alone. And here's the kicker. Any asset you get as a specific gift or an inheritance, even if it's during the marriage, is also considered the separate property of the person who received it.
So think of it like this. You've got this big pot called community property. All the income and assets from the marriage go into that pot for a 50-50 split. But separate property, like a specific gift made just to your spouse, never even touches that pot. It stays on the side, belonging 100% to them. And that brings us right back to our first question. Because that $1 million was a gift specifically to the husband, the law says that money is his separate property. And that means the house bought with it is also his separate property, not a 50-50 community asset. Yeah, surprising, isn't it? Okay, let's switch gears and tackle that second puzzle, the house you co-own with your mom. You might see the words joint owners on the deed and think, that's that. But legally, the word joint can mean a couple of very, very different things with totally different outcomes. The first type, and the one most of us think of, is called joint tenancy. The magic words here, the thing you have to remember, is right of survivorship. This is a really powerful, totally automatic feature that's built right into this specific kind of ownership. Then you have the other kind, which is often the default, called tenancy in common. This is a whole different ballgame. Here, each owner has their own separate, distinct share. It's almost like owning stock in a company. Your share is yours to do whatever you want with, including leaving it to your heirs in a will.
And believe me, the difference here is absolutely everything. With joint tenancy, that right of survivorship means when one owner passes away, their share automatically goes to the surviving owner. No probate court, no will, it just happens. But with tenancy in common, there is no right of survivorship. The owner's share goes to their estate, to be split up according to their will. The outcome is literally night and day.
So you see why getting the right type of ownership set up from day one is so important. Which leads us to a super common and super expensive mistake that people make all the time. The thinking goes something like this, and it seems so logical. I own my home. To make things simple when I'm gone, I'll just add my daughter's name to the deed as a joint owner. It seems smart. It feels easy, but legally, it's a trap. And here's why it totally backfires. The law is incredibly picky about creating that powerful right of survivorship. You can't just declare it. You have to meet 4 really strict conditions, which lawyers call the 4 unities. Let's just run through this T-tip rule real quick. Time. Everybody has to get their ownership on the exact same day. Title. Everybody has to be on the very same document. Interest. Everybody has to have the exact same size share, so 50-50 for 2 people. And possession. Everybody has an equal right to use the whole property.
So now you can see exactly why the let me just add a name trick fails. When a parent adds a child to a deed they already have, they violate the time rule. They didn't get their interest at the same time, and they violate the title rule, since it's a second document. The legal result? The law just says, nope, not a joint tenancy. Instead, it defaults to a tenancy in common, completely wiping out that automatic survivorship the parent wanted in the first place.
So what does this all boil down to? It's really one critical point. The way your property is titled isn't just boring paperwork. It's a set of legal commands that literally dictates the future of that asset.
Okay, so let's circle all the way back and give the definitive answers. That $1 million gift? It's almost certainly the husband's separate property. And the mother's share of the house? It only goes entirely to the one daughter if the deed explicitly and correctly created a joint tenancy. If not, it's a tenancy in common, and her 50% share goes into her estate, which means it'll likely be split between both of her children.
The bottom line is this. Those few words on your property title, joint tenancy with right of survivorship or tenants in common, they are not just legal mumbo-jumbo. They are powerful instructions that control where hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars go. They can absolutely change a family's financial future.
Which really just leaves one final and maybe the most important question. And this one isn't for us, it's for you. Don't just assume you know. Pull out the deed to your home and read the exact language. Do you know for certain how you own your property? Because finding out now is a whole lot less painful than your family having to figure it out later.